Yes. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Today is our class number 4, and I am happy to announce that today we'll be talking about schedule management, cost management, and quality management. But before that, we need to wrap up the schedule management. Remember that last week we started talking about the introduction of this topic. I want you to pay attention because remember that in project management, we have a triangle. So anyone, I'm going to use my pen. Give me 1 second. In project management, I told you that we have a triangle. Anyone here remember the 3 sides of the triangle, the 3 baselines? Anyone? You can read your notes.
Is it scope,
Scope?
schedule,
Yes.
and budget?
Yes. And budget. So the thing is that schedule, it's part of the triangle. So that's why it's very relevant that we can understand today's class is key because we are going to speak about schedule, just conclude the lesson that we started last week, and also the budget, the processes. So having said that, let me just provide an overview. And I remember that I told you that here, we are here. We finished scope. This is done. Now we are here in this part in the program. So we are on time because all the time we put like a 50% of the content to the next day just to make a balance because it's too many processes for one day. So I'm trying to distribute the content. All right. So let me just provide an overview of schedule. And I told you that as schedule management, we have a couple of processes. I'm not going to explain all the processes right now. I'm just going to mention the names of the processes and provide like maybe 1 or 2 ideas of each one. So plan schedule management is the process number 1, planning. Number 2, define activities. First thing that we do in order to calculate this, estimate the duration of the project, it's make sure that, remember that we're coming from scope management. And I told you that a scope management, it's about creating a WBS. So the WBS is a physical or visual representation of the scope. So this is a WBS. And I told you that the only way we can eat an elephant, and I was, oh my gosh, laughing about that comment. And I say, how can we eat an elephant? And I don't remember, it was Miss Tina or Miss Pamela. I don't remember, but I was, oh my gosh, that was so fun. She said, we're not supposed to eat an elephant, but just in case, we can compare the project, we can compare the project definition, the project high-level vision with a big elephant like this. So the only way that you can eat an elephant is cutting into pieces, cutting here. So this is the elephant, which is the vision of the project. Building a house, for example, building a house. So if I want to decompose the construction of a house, I could put here as part of the deliverables, the kitchen, the living room, the garage, the swimming pool. So those are the deliverables in order to create or build my house. So because we're coming from scope management, the next step is decompose the deliverables from my WBS into actions or activities. So now we are talking about scheduling. This is a scope. It's about features and functions and work to be done. And schedule is about the time, complete the project on time. So the first thing is planning, how we're going to manage the processes. Number 2, define the activities, boom, 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 from the WBS. Now that I have, please pay attention, this is very relevant just to provide an overview of the knowledge area here. So define the activities, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, we have a list of activities or A, B, C, or D, right? Now that I have the list of activities, I can organize the activities in a logical order. So I cannot start activity B until I finish activity A. It's just put it in order. That is sequence activities. The process number 4, it's estimating the activity durations. And the process number 5 is just creating the baseline, which is the calendar. And last but not least, of course, we need to all the time control the execution. So having said that, if you can see, remember that this class was covered last week. I'm just providing an overview. I don't want to go deeper. Planning is establishing the policies. Defining activities, it's identified activities, decomposed activities, and this is made progressively. So rolling wave planning. So we can put the first version, and then when we have more information, we can do a better job. That is rolling wave planning. Number 3, sequence activities. I told you dependencies, precedence diagram methodology. We're going to create like a chart representing the network of the project. You will see how cool. We're going to speak a little bit about leads and lags. I'm going to provide that definition today. And now that we have the order of the activities, we can estimate the durations, the work periods needed, and we have a couple of tools and techniques to estimate the duration. Those are specific definitions that we're going to read as a team one by one today. So I was thinking, do not do the breakout and just take that time to do something inside of the class. So we don't need to go out to the private rooms, so we can finish earlier today. All right. Of course, if you agree. So after the break, we can vote. I love voting. All right. Develop schedule. Now that I have the list of activities and I have the estimated duration, I can create my calendar, which is the schedule. In that way, we can define the start and finish dates, confirm the resources we need, and also this is one of the most important concepts today, the critical path. What has Dallas said? If we're going to forget everything about schedule management, we cannot forget the critical path. The critical path. I love it. So coming up, critical path. What is that? Now that we can calculate the critical path, we can use the critical path to calculate the project duration. Believe me, after that, when you deliver the plan, okay, Mr. Peter, this is the calendar of a beautiful project. I want you to approve my baseline. So he's going to say, okay, I love that, let's say, but you know that we need to make money earlier. So why are you telling me that you're going to complete the project in 6 months? Can you put it in just 5 or 4 months at least? So absolutely, you need to have a couple of tools and techniques to compress the schedule. And that's why I'm going to give you a couple of tools to reduce the duration of the project. Coming up. Last but not least, as usual in every single knowledge area, we need to manage schedule changes. So I gave you the 6 processes of schedule management. So let me continue because last week I remember that I explained, the next page, okay, this is planning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are planning processes. And this is controlling schedules, part of the process group of controlling, just to keep that in mind. You don't need to memorize that for the exam. Absolutely no. Good news that I gave you is that in a single or simple projects, you can just smaller projects made a single process of 1, 2, 3, and 4 processes. So meaning that this breakdown in 6 processes is just because it's for learning purposes. But in real life, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 processes, define the activities, sequencing the activities, estimating the duration, and developing the schedule, just like a one-time event. So for once, you don't need to have different days and make another meeting. So you can do it at the same time, the same day, if the project it's not complicated. So I'm gonna put a happy face here because this is a good news. So I know you can say, oh my gosh, this is too many processes. Yes, I know. But in real life, you don't need to decompose the process. It's like so granular. All right. Let me ask Miss Claudia, can you be my TA today? So if you want, if you can, because I don't know if you are busy with your
Well,
children.
I might have background noise, but I'm gonna do my best.
Okay, no problem if you have some background noise. That's not a problem. Okay, so having said that, Miss Claudia, let me know if you can see any question in the chat. So help me, feed me back. Guys, do you think that can I continue? So I want you to feed me back. Put number 1 in the chat. Okay, let's say you can continue. This is a general information. Now I'm going to explain one by one. So
Yeah.
number 1, thank you, Miss Pamela. Thank you, Miss Claudia. Thank you, thank you.
We're good to go.
Okay, Miss Tina, Mr. Josh. All right.
Mr. George.
Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me continue. Some of the key points that we need to know, pay attention to this for the exam, is that every single knowledge area, you need to know about agility. How agile do this in a different way? Any different terminology, any different tool, any different philosophy to understand the two type of projects environments. Remember that we have predictive approach and adaptive. So normally it's predictive, but we need to know what about agile considerations. So that's why, and I explained that last week, it's that in agility, this is a very popular name that we can use. Instead of calendar or Gantt chart, it's release plan. It's absolutely like an agile terminology, release. And also product roadmap, it's very popular in agile. And the release plan presents a roadmap, which is a schedule, but it's like agile terminology of how the team is intended to achieve the vision of the project within the scope of project objectives and constraints. So this is the calendar. Look at this calendar, very different. So if you see this calendar, it's not a calendar, it's a release plan. But in other words, it's a calendar, but for Agile. So in Agile, you will see sprints here on the top. Sprint number 1, sprint number 2, sprint number 3, and this is just an example. And this is the release number 1, which is the version number 1 of the product. So the version number 1, which is maybe could be the MVP, which is the minimum viable product, and we explained that last week in scope management. We are going to include different features, functions, and capabilities. So in agility, everything is visual, sticky notes, task boards, dashboards, Kanbans. Those are the type of tools or artifacts. Let me put that word here, artifact. This word is very popular, artifact in project management. An artifact, it's a important document of a project. Any type of formal document is an artifact. So this is a very important artifact, the product roadmap or release plan. So let me continue here. So as you can see, I love this because in the sprint number 1, we're going to include these 3 features. On the sprint number 2, we're going to create these 2 functionalities and so on. So you can see it visually. I love it. And in real life, it's like this. We create visually, like physical sticky notes and create a dashboard in a public space. That is transparency in agility. Okay, the release plan helps the product owner and the whole team decide how much must be developed and how long it will take before they have a releasable product. That's it. So this type of chart is going to help us to calculate the duration of the project. Why? Because if you see 3 sprints and the sprint duration is from 1 to 4 weeks, so you know that each sprint is 4 weeks. So 4 weeks plus 4 weeks plus 4 weeks will be the release one. How many weeks? 4? Anyone? 4 plus 4 plus 4?
12.
12 weeks. Yes. So now you have an idea about the project duration to launch or create or develop the release number 1. So 12 weeks. And that's it. So the release number 2 will be, and so on. So it's a different way to calculate the duration. And I love it. It's very fresh. I would say very visual, very realistic. And that it's, remember that release plan and product roadmap, it's about agility or agile mindset. All right, let me continue because I was part of last week, this Monday, last Monday content. All right, now going back to the processes, of course, for predictive approach. Remember that the process number 1, it's about planning, plan, schedule management. So the purpose of planning, it's just create the plan. It's very easy. So what is the output of this process? It's almost the same name, but in different order. You see, planning, plan, schedule management. What is the output? Schedule management plan. I love it because it's very obvious, like very easy to memorize. Okay, I want to know if Miss Claudia can help me selecting a volunteer to read these bullets, 4 bullets. Anyway, Miss Claudia, help me selecting a volunteer.
I don't know. Maybe George is the first one I say.
Okay, Mr. George, can you help us?
Okay. Yes, sure.
Okay.
Plan schedule management. Schedule management plan can establish the following. Release the iteration length when using adaptive life cycle. The time periods for releases and iterations are specified.
Yeah.
Units of measure, hours, days, months, quarters. Rules of performance measurement, EVM, techniques, schedule variance, and SPI. Control thresholds, amount of variance allowed before take any action, tolerance.
EVM is, can you read this?
Yes, EVM equals earned value methodology. SPI equals schedule performance index.
Thank you very much. I have a good news. This type of terminologies will be explained coming up very clearly. So let me just provide an overview. Remember that Mr. George explained that the schedule management plan can establish or some of the components that we're supposed to include in this plan is number 1, the release, the iterations. Remember that we said that before. Here, let me go back. Boom. This is exactly this one. Boom. You see? Schedule management plan. So they're including the same idea, but in a formal document, like in black and white. Release and iterations length when using adaptive, adaptive, it's agile. So the bullet number 1 is the same information that we got from previous slides. So nothing new. The life cycle, the time periods, so we know that. Okay, number 2, let me explain this. Units of measure. Remember that in agility, we have time box sprints. So this is 3 things here. It's all about predictive. Units of measure. You can create a calendar based on hours, on days, months, quarters, years. Okay, that's nothing to explain. Very clear. 1, 2, 3. Number 3, pay attention. Rules of performance measurement. We need to make an agreement how we will be tracking progress or performance reports, how we will be tracking the performance. And one of the most specific tools for project management for the exam, it's EVM. What is that? I will explain coming up. I'm not going to explain end value management right now, but it's something that we need to take time to explain. It's beautiful technique. So another part of the measurement is SPI. So what is SPI? SPI is the Schedule Performance Index. It's an indicator of effectiveness. That is part of the earned value management set of formulas. So for now, we don't need to memorize this name. Just understand that something is coming about EVM and SPI about this. Number 4 is going to be part of cost management coming up. And last but not least, number 4, I want to explain a little bit more about control thresholds, is that nothing that the things that you put in black and white are specifically like 100% accurate. So you need to put into the plan just in case, instead of spend 3 months, maybe we can need more, like 2 more weeks or less, more or less. So that variation, like it's allowed, it's amount of variance that is allowed. So you need to put that into the plan. Why? Because we don't want surprises at the end of the day. So, okay, this is the agreement. We're going to deliver the project in December, but we can do it maybe 2 weeks later, 2 weeks earlier. So you put those like in a range, like a margin of error. That is a control thresholds. So another name for that concept, it's tolerance, level of tolerance. So let me know, Mr. George, Miss Claudia, if that concept of thresholds, tolerance, margin of error, when you deliver the baseline in the schedule management, is that clear, that concept? At
Yeah,
least this one.
it's clear.
It's clear.
There's no questions.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me continue. Remember this one, I'm going to explain coming up. Okay, let me continue. All right. Remember that we're talking about different processes. Number 1, we need to plan the schedule management. Number 2, we need to define the activities. Remember that we're coming from the WBS, and I explained that before, so we don't need to take time explaining the same thing that I already did. So first of all, we need to identify activities that must be performed to produce the deliverables established in the WBS. And I told you that before, this elephant. Now you have here the goal, which is the vision, building a house. Decomposition, you decompose the house into work packages, are decomposed into activities. So now this is the kitchen, this is the living room. And in order to create the kitchen, I need to perform activity A and activity B. In order to create the living room, I need to execute activities and activity D. And I have a couple of examples coming up. This is just the introduction of defining activities. These are the activities, schedule activities. Now we can start organizing in logical order the list of activities. So this is a tool or technique. Now we have as an output here, define activities. That is very simple. The list of activities, activity A, activity B, activities, activity D. Now also we can define the milestone list. So let me ask you anyone, can you tell me what if there's any difference between an activity and a milestone? Anyone, any idea? So I'm not expecting perfection. It's just, what is the difference between an activity and a milestone?
An activity is something that's in process. A milestone, it's an accomplishment or not, where you already can see the vision of what is being planned for in the future.
Yes, anyone else? I agree with you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think a milestone is when you reach something that is like merit, something that is like concrete. Like
Yep.
starting something is concrete, finishing an iteration is completion, and activity is the process of getting
Yes,
to the
yes,
milestone.
yes. Absolutely. So when you see activity as an action, however, a milestone represents a significant event, and you're absolutely right. So what is the tricky part for the exam? Is that milestone duration equals 0, not duration. Why? Because in order for us to achieve a milestone, and Ms. Pamela, I think you said it, you explained it, Mr. George. In order to achieve or complete a milestone, you are going to need the execution of multiple activities. So the activities, they have duration. But milestone, technically, 0. That is for the exam. It's a tricky question for the exam. Some of the examples of a milestone is start project, design phase complete. So you see, it's like an event. Testing complete, project complete. So for projects that use agility techniques, this list will be updated constantly as the project move forward. So yeah, something that we know. I'm going to put a happy face because agility is very flexible. So you're going constantly, you are going to change or update the list of activities in the backlog. And you will see that coming up. How to like organize all the pieces of the puzzle in agility. All right. So milestones have a 0 duration. This is tricky for the exam, trick question for the exam, and because they represent a significant event. So exam tip, milestones have a 0, no duration. Okay. I was going to, let me share with you this page that I hid because, let me just, give me 1 second, and I'm going to unhide this. So we can change here the activities and so having said that, put it in the chat. It's a 1 or 2. Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So yes, the answer is it's true.
Everyone
So,
is saying,
yeah, okay.
but they're requesting to go back to slide number 1.
Okay, you have a question?
It's me. I wanted to go back because I had a question
Okay.
from the previous, from here. So which list is updated? The activity list or the milestone list?
And you said in agility, remember that it's
Yeah.
both. Everything is updated in agility. So you can change at any time. Remember in agility, changes are welcome. So both.
So you can create milestones and then create more once you start. So that would be a welcome change.
Yes, in agility, we have the capability or the ability to change at any time, meaning adding or deleting or changing or improving. So the answer is yes, at any time. Remember that in agility, I haven't explained that yet. Oh, I told you in scope that we have product backlog. Remember the product backlog? Scope management. This person here, this monster, is a huge list of requirements and user stories. And anyone at any time can include something in the product backlog. So the product backlog is going to be prioritized constantly. So at the end of the sprint, you will be able to change whatever. But in the middle of the sprint, you cannot change anything. It's too much information. But yes, you can change anything because it's going through. It's coming from the product backlog. So you put it here, and next week you have one new thing here. No, Alice said I need to put this new feature in the product backlog. Okay, no problem. Why? Because we're going to prioritize the list at the end of the sprint. Is that clear, Mr. George?
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right, so let's continue. Okay, now that we have the list of activities, the list of milestones, now the process number 3 is about ordering, like put it in logical order. Sometimes you cannot start something until you finish another action. So sequence, when you say the name of this process, sequencing activities involves identifying the dependencies or logical relationships among the project activities. So except for the first and last, all activities must have a predecessor and successor. And I want you to pay attention, full attention, because I'm going to start moving to another dimension of knowledge. So this is not something that it's like easy reading. So Pay attention because I want a lot of questions from you guys, to be honest. So ask me, stop me at any time. Okay, this is a project with 1, 2, 3, and 4 activities. The activity A can start immediately, the day 0. We can start today. However, you cannot start activity B until you finish activity A. Why? Because this is the predecessor. Okay? So this is the representation of the dependencies of the activities. So let me ask let me ask Miss Taina, what activity must be completed before I start the activity C, as in Charlie?
Activity A.
Yes, thank you so much. So you need to visualize from now on. We have a couple of exercises coming up to determine the network diagram and the critical path. So be with me, be with me. So in this case, we are using this tool. The name of this chart, it's a PDM. PDM, it's a precedence diagramming methodology. Just keep that in mind, PDM. Thank God we don't need to memorize anything, just to understand a couple of terminology. So what is a PDM? It's a methodology that it helps me to visualize the sequence, the dependencies of the activities. All right. So it's a technique, the PDM, as I told you, is a technique used to create a schedule module visually in which activities are represented by nodes. So these nodes are the activities and are graphically linked by one relationship to show the sequence in which the activities are to be performed. So that is PDM. PDM, one more time, 3 times. PDM is also called activity on node. One more time. What is PDM? PDM, it's a precedence diagramming methodology. So that is the name of this technique. So let me continue. Another name for the PDM is activity on node. Activity on node. So the activities, they are represented by the nodes, like nodes, nodes. And the relationship represented by arrows. Okay, let me continue. So this is going to move into another level of complication. So for example, this is an example of a project with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 activities. 1, 2, 3. So let me ask you, what are the two activities that you need to complete before you start the activity G, as in George? Anyone? What are the two activities that you need to complete in order to start activity G? So what are the predecessors of G? Anyone?
George wants to say.
Anyone?
I think you have to finish C and A. Is that correct? Or is that wrong?
Okay.
Oh, F and D?
F and D, yes.
Oh, okay.
F and D, thank you so much. So boxes are nodes and nodes are activities. So how many activities do we have? We have activity A, activity B, activity C, activity D, activity E. We cannot start activity B until I finish activity A. Is that clear, guys? Because I want you to visualize the dependencies. Is that clear, Miss Claudia? I want you to put number 2 on the chat if this visual is clear. Anyone? Put number 2, yes, number 2. Miss Claudia, thank you. Miss
It's
Pam.
clear. Yes.
Okay, clear. Just, I want to make sure because now we're going to move to another step. Now that I understand that this is a project schedule network diagram, believe me, I hate that PMI is putting a lot of like terminologies. This is all about names, terminologies. This is another language. Believe me, when you pass the exam, you're changing your language and the mindset, the philosophy. Now you're going to, oh my gosh, too many different words. So the name of this chart for the exam is a project schedule network diagram. One more time. This is a network diagram for the project schedule. So the PDM, one more time, is this technique that help us to create this type of chart. Let's say, do I need to do?
So I have a question. The diagram is also the diagramming method. The network diagram is also the president's diagramming method.
It's the result of the method.
Okay.
The result.
Okay.
The
Okay.
methodology is the idea. The thing is that I'm going to take you to a place right now. We are representing a project into a chart. My question that all the time I do myself, do we need to do this in real life to represent the activities in notes? No, because there's a lot of software. You don't need to do that manually. But for the exam, you need to know how the software it's working behind the scene. So the back end is this one. So thank God we don't need to do that manually, not anymore, because we have a lot of like Microsoft Project. I love it. We have another software, Primavera for construction. We have Prince. Let's say, do I need to do those softwares? No, but if you want to just try the free trial of this one, that'll be fine. So we don't need to do this manually. Thank God. This is just for the exam. So let me continue. So this is it. So now the PDM, anyone remember what is PDM stands for? P is precedence, diagramming, methodology. All right, the PDM includes 4 types of logical relationships. So don't worry that we don't need to memorize this for the exam. You can, we can have finish to finish, finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, start to finish. Thank God for the exam, we are going to focus on this one, number 1, which is finish to start relationship. So the finish to start, which is FS, the number 1 here, number 1, is the most used type of precedence relationship. The start to finish, which is this one, it's very weird. So forget about that. I'm just providing the 4 type of relationships just in case, but we don't need to go deeper in these 3, just in this one. So I will be based on this one for the next exercise coming up. Let me see what time is it, because this is something that we need time and be fresh to understand the critical path creation.
7:46.
What was that?
7:46. 7:46.
Okay, at 8, let me know, but I don't remember for the I was okay. My phone is here. Give me 1 second. Me cayó. Okay. All right. I have my alarms here. Okay. I want you to pay attention because now I'm going to explain how to calculate the project duration using the critical path methodology through the PDM diagram. Okay. So the finish to start, I explained that before, is the initiation of the successor activity that depends upon the completion of the predecessor activity. That is the most popular. You cannot decorate the cake until you bake the cake. So you cannot plant the tree until you dig the hole. Is that clear? Put number 5 in the chat because I want to make sure that this is clear. You cannot start something until you finish the previous one, of course. Okay.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, it's clear. Okay, be with me. Now that I know that, I'm going to skip this this quiz, but please, this link, I'm going to put it in the chat so you can do it later to practice the exams that I created for you guys. Now, let me continue because I want to keep the concentration here. So having said that, the project schedule network diagram, which is this one, is an output of this process. You don't need to memorize that. It's just to clarify the order of the ideas. These are steps to create and calculate the project duration. So the project schedule network diagram is a graphical representation of the logical relationships among the project activities. One question for the exam is, what represents the project schedule network diagram? The answer is the logical relationships of the activities. That's it. This is very straightforward, not tricky at all. Yellow, this in yellow is because this is very popular in the exam, this type of question. Okay, let me continue. We are good to go. I'm going to skip the questions because I want to explain. Let me just stop sharing and go and just jump into this specific exercise that I want to present right now. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to jump into the critical path calculation. After that, we are ready to take the break. So let me go back. All right, let me share my screen. I want you to pay attention 100% right now. Let me ask Miss Claudia, can you see my screen? Like develop schedule here, boom.
Yes.
Develop schedule here. Okay, now that I have the list of activities, the logical relationship, I can create something like this. So let's say why this type of chart is important is because using this chart, you can visualize the possible path into the network. So if you see this network, we have activity A, and the duration of activity A, it's 3 days. How we get this? Not a problem. We get a meeting, we have a couple of conversations, and we define that the activity A duration is 3 days. This is not the case right now. It's just to explain that now that you have the relationship and the individual duration, you can calculate the total duration of the project. How? Identifying the critical path. So what is the critical path? It's the longest path through the network. So in this case, we have one path, A, B, E, F. Let me just take another color. We have another path, which is A, C, E, F. This is a path number 2. Let me take the purple color now. And we have another path from the start to the end, which is A, B, D, and F. This is number 3. Okay, can you see any other path? Anyone? Any other path from the start from the start to the end? Anyone? Can you visualize another path or just 3?
A, B, E, F.
A, B, yes. A, B, E, F. Yes. So we have 4. So we're missing 1 here.
Oh, yeah, because you did
A,
A,
A, B. Oh, it's
A,
here.
B, D, F. You did, sorry.
A, B,
D,
E, F. It's here. This is the red one, the number 1 here. A, B, E, F. This is the one that you tell me?
No, yeah, I did, sorry.
Okay, it's here.
Thank you for a
So
second.
we have identified 3 different paths. We have 3 possible paths. So one of the methodology to calculate the project duration is using the critical path. So what is this, Lisa? This is just an example of how to calculate and how to respond to these 2 questions. So I don't want to confuse you. Let me go back. Let me just clean and erase everything. We are talking about the process number 4 of schedule, which is develop schedule. This is one of the processes. And we need to answer 2 questions. Number 1, what is the project duration? And number 2, what is the critical path? So we are going to use the critical path concept to define or calculate the project duration. How? This is a very quick methodology. The one that we're doing is visually. That's why I was very emphatic. I was trying to, can you see it? Can you see now that we have a project with 6 activities, activity A, activity B, activity C, D, E, and F. And now we have the duration of each one of the activities. Now we can visualize here the critical path by using this analysis. How? Number one, we can identify the possible paths. This is for the exam like this. It's very simple, straightforward, because you don't need a lot of calculations. Just visualize the different paths. So number one, we have 1, 2, 3 different paths. Now we need to identify what is the critical path. The critical path is the longest path through the network. So the longest duration. So I want you to help me to calculate what is the duration of activity E here. It's 3, E plus B plus D plus F. So help me here. A, duration of activity B is 3. I'm just putting here just to visualize the numbers. The duration of activity B is 5. The duration of activity D, as in David, is 1. The duration of activity F, as in Frank, is 2. So let me change the color of my pen. And here, what is the total here?
11.
If you aggregate, okay, 3 plus 5, 8. Plus 1, 9 plus 2, 11. Okay, 11 days. Okay. This is a duration of path number 1. Now, let's calculate the duration of path number 2 and the duration of the path number 3. So let me do it very quick and you help me to calculate the final number. Let me just change the color of my pen. Activity A, it's 3. Plus activity B is 5. Plus activity E, as in Edward, is 6. Plus activity F, as in Frank, is 2. So you let me know when you're ready. Let me know how much is the total amount here.
16.
How
The
much?
chat. 16.
16. I believe you. I believe you. I'm not
Everyone's
calculating.
agreeing 16.
Okay, I believe you. This is say, okay. Let me just now do the same. Activity A, 3. Boom. Activity C, 4. Boom. Activity E, as in Edward, 6. Activity F, as in Frank, 2. Anyone, how much is the total here?
15.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you. I'm not calculating. I believe you. So the critical path, pay attention because it's very simple, but at the same time, we can confuse with these numbers and little steps. So if you know that by definition, the critical path is the longest path through the network, what is the critical path? 1, 2, or 3? If you know that is the longest. So which one is the longest here?
Number 2.
Yes, 2. Why? Because 16, it's the greatest amount. 16 is the longest path. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Josh. Now that I know that the critical path duration is 16 days, this is the project duration. Using what? The longest path through the network. That's it. It's not tricky. It is what it is. It's no more than that. That is just making a couple of exercises and understanding that the only thing you need to know is how many days, what is the longest path. That's it. So having said that, you cannot delay the critical path. It's the critical path. It's the list of activities that you cannot delay. Why? Because if you delay one of those activities, the total duration of the project can be extended. So that is the critical path concept. You don't have flexibility, you don't have float. All right, I think it's good. It's enough for now. So we have 2 more minutes for the break. And let me just check the next page. Yes, 11, 16. Yeah, you see, thank you. You did it. I did not calculate. 16 days. And we are developing the schedule. The critical path is the longest path through the network. And this is the activity. What is the critical path? A, B, E, F. Oh, that was another thing that we are trying to identify in this exercise. So we are responding to questions. Number 1, what is the critical path of the project, and number two, what is the project duration? At the beginning, it's a little bit complicated, but you will see that it's logical. You have a lot of activities. The only way that you can define the duration is like aggregating the duration of each one of the activities, of course. So the longest path through the network is the project duration. And the critical path is the list of activities that you cannot delay. You cannot be late if you want to finish the project on time. So you need to prioritize your time. Just focus on those activities, because if I don't complete this activity on time, it's going to impact the final implementation date. If it's a little bit like clear. Any question before the break? We're ready for the break. Questions?
No questions.
No questions? Okay, okay. That is the critical path methodology and calculation that I was trying to explain from the very beginning. We're going to take the break, 10 minutes break. And after the break, we will be jumping into the how to create our project plan using artificial intelligence. All right, guys. Put number 1 in the chat if you're ready for the break. Ready for the break? Number 1? Yes. Okay. Take the time. Drink some water. You put a 0, George, Mr. George. Why? What is that? Okay.
It's like
Okay.
it's like an emoji face, like classic. It's like
Okay.
a going, oh.
Okay, okay. I know this topic is maybe it's not super friendly, but it's part of the exam. Okay, guys. I'll see you after the break. Bye. Oh, okay. Before the break, we're talking about how to respond these 2 questions in development schedule process in project schedule management. So these are the 2 questions that we can respond using this type of technique or tool. This is a tool. This is a methodology. Oh, you see it. It was at 8:12. Okay. All right. So what we're doing here is just creating or identifying what is the critical path of the project. And also by defining the critical path, we are calculating the project duration. How? The project duration, remember, it's represented by the critical path. And the critical path, by definition, the critical path is the longest path through the network. That is a definition. So this methodology of the critical path determination is about understanding the possible paths. In this case, this project has 3 possibilities: ABDF, ABEF, and ACEF. So how can I calculate the duration of each one of those paths? It's just aggregating the duration of each one individually. In this case, ABDF, the duration was 11 days. The path number 2, the duration was 16 days. And the path number 3 duration was 15 days. So 11, 15, and 16. So what is the critical path? The longest duration. This is the critical path, this one, ABEF, which is the path number 2. That is something that we explained before the break. So now I want to add a couple of concepts here so you can keep that in mind for the exam. Remember, today you don't need to memorize anything, but for the exam you need to understand the concept. So number 1, the critical path is the longest path through the network. We know that. Another thing that I want to say is that the critical path is also, this is another definition, is the path with the least float. What is that? Let's say total float. And the concept number 3 about critical path is that it's the shortest time that the project can be completed. So I need to explain what is the total float. So the total float, it's here. It's the definition. It's coming here to the next page. Before that definition, just to remind you, if you are going to forget everything, never forget that the critical path has these 3 definitions. Number 1 is the longest path through the network. We know that. That is easy. Number 2, the path with the least total flow. What is that? I'm going to explain that now. And another definition is that the critical path is the shortest time that the project can be completed. That is another thing that we can digest. However, what is the total float of the activities? And this is the definition. The total float is the, please pay attention, this is very important. Total float and slack are the same, 2 different names for the same concept. The float or slack of an activity is the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the project end date. Meaning that the float is like a flexibility. Flexibility. So you can say, I can delay this activity 2 days because we have 2 days of float. So what is a float? It's a flexibility that you have in that specific activities. So the activities in the critical path almost always have a 0 float. So we don't have flexibility. You cannot delay an activity that is part of the critical path. So let me go back one more time. I'm going to refresh this definition. So now that we know that the total float is the amount of time that we can delay an activity without delaying the final implementation of the project, now we can understand the 3 definitions of the critical path. Liz said, why are you making a lot of emphasis in the critical path? It's because it's very relevant for the exam. So the critical path, one more time, is the longest path through the network. And why the critical path list set is so important is because you need to prioritize. Remember that in project management, it's about business. It's about optimization of the processes. It's about being effective and productive. So if you have 200 activities in a project, you cannot follow up all the activities with the same energy. So you need to prioritize the critical path. First of all, you need to identify, okay, these are the 12 activities that I need to follow up in order to finish my project on time. So that's why I'm just repeating, critical path, critical path. So what is the critical path? It's the longest path through the network. You cannot delay, allow anyone delay this type of activity that it's inside of the critical path. So number 1, critical path, the longest path. Number 2 is the path with the least total float. And number 3 is the shortest time that project can be completed. Activities in the critical path almost always have a 0 float, meaning that you cannot delay. What happened if you need to explain what happened, and you need to get together and trying to accelerate the rest of the activities, maybe adding more resources. I want to know if that concept, I'm not talking about numbers and specific things, but the concept is clear that we need to identify what are the 5, the 6, the 7 more important activities in a project. Anyone, just put me something in the chat. Any question, any whatever, say whatever you want. Is that clear? Yes, thank you, Ms. Tina. Is that like the concept? So maybe right now we need to digest more and take more examples. Clear as can be. Yes, for now. Yeah, thank you so much. Mr. George, I don't see your feedback. You see that with this amount of information, we can digest like 80% of this concept. Okay, you put yes, I didn't see it. Thank you. All right, so now I feel much better if you say that, yes, I can continue, because I know it's complicated at the first time that you see critical path, float, boom, boom, too many new names and terminologies. But let me tell you something. For the exam, you will be fine because you'll be taking practice exams every day before the exam. So you will be fine. That's why I'm confident that you will pass the exam. All right. So what happened, let's say, on the process number 5 in schedule management? Thank you for asking. You are creating now the baseline here. Project baseline, finally, is the approved version of the plan. Remember that the triangle is the approved version of the plan. Some of graphical representations of the baseline you can use bar charts, Gantt charts. This is the Gantt chart, the most popular chart that you can see on predictive traditional. This is not for agile. Keep that in mind. This is more for predictive. So what is a Gantt chart? It's a very famosissimo. Gantt chart, todo el mundo, everybody's talking about Gantt chart. This is a Gantt chart. What is a Gantt chart? It's a representation of the schedule baseline. It's like the calendar. It's a calendar. It's a calendar. So those are activities. The activities in the Gantt chart are listed on a vertical axis. Those are the activities. So we have 17 here, 17 activities, tasks. We have the duration. We have the start date. We have the end date. So activities are listed on the vertical axis. The dates are shown on the horizontal axis here, the dates here. February 17, 24, 2014. This is the year, I think. Yeah. March 3rd of 2014. So those are the dates. Boom, boom, boom. So dates are shown on the horizontal axis. Activities duration are shown as bars. You see bars here, boom. Placed according to start and finish dates. So this activity, this one, pay attention, the number 4, boom, this one, the number 4 here. Starts here and finish here. You see, start date and end date, boom, that's it. And also you can see the dependency. Let's say, do I need to do this manually? No, there's a lot of software that you can just click, one click, boom, boom, and the software creates this type of chart in 1 second. So that is one type of chart, very popular, Gantt chart or bar chart. When you see Gantt chart, it's also bar charts are the same. Okay, another type of milestone charts. It's another type of visual representation, which is coming here, the next one. So this is a milestone charts. What is milestone charts? Are similar to bar charts, but only identify the scheduled start or completion of major deliverables. You see, this is just showing the milestones. Milestone number 1. Milestone number 2 in 2022. This is a very huge construction project. Milestone number 4. We're going to start turnpike construction. Milestone number 1. The first 100 kilometers will be ready in 2020. Okay, getting into New York will be ready 2022. You see, it's too long. So what is that, Lucy? This is another type of chart that you can use to represent the schedule baseline of a project. You see, project schedule baseline, graphical representations. Those are type of charts.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
there's a question in the chat. Okay. A question from Tanya. Is there a program that has everything in one that a project manager is going to need and use? Or we are going to have use several programs depending on the company job?
Okay, I love the question, Ms. Taina. Every single organization is different. For example, I can give you the example of Cisco. Based on my experience, we have different tools, not only one. So, for example, we have for budget, we use a financial system, for example, to track the sales. And for example, communications, we got different marketing design, like newsletters, so different. So that will be based on how many or how the company it's using the technology. So is there a program that it has? No, there's no program at all. However, we can consolidate a couple of charts in one taskbar. And I have the example in communications management, Ms. Taina, of
Okay,
something that I did with everything in one page, like beautiful.
thank you. Okay.
You're welcome. I'm going to share that with you in coming up in communications management coming up. Did I answer your question, Miss Taina? Did I answer your question, Miss Taina?
Yes, you did. Thank
Yes.
you.
You're welcome. Okay. So we're almost done with schedule management. And I think, yes, enough module. Now we are ready for remember that I promised that today I'm going to share with you the steps to create your beautiful project. First version in ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, and then next week you need to do something for the next step. So today is just step number 1. So let me share with you this. And Miss Claudia, let me know if you see any question, any comment.
No, not at the moment.
All right. So let me share cost management and then just to, okay, cost. Integration, that's new. I didn't open the right one. So yes, scope. Okay. Scope, no, I'm sorry. Cost management is the next topic. And before that, I'm going to share with you the examples and the agreement. Okay. So before we continue, I would like to vote. If you can vote in the chat, number 8. Number 8, we need an extra break to synchronize the assignment. Remember that team number 1 is not here, but team number 2 is just Miss Pamela today. You guys need time, or team number 3 is Mr. Church, Miss Claudia, and Miss Taina. You need the breakout. I want you to put in the chat number 8. Yes. No, let me put it because the me verbo 8 is yes. It's just to change the digits that we're using to communicate. Yes is yes. Yes is 8. We need a break, like 5 minutes to coordinate who will be presenting the homework. And number 9, okay, we can just chat internally and define that. So we can save time if we said. So number 9, it's no, we don't need break. So put it in the chat, it's voting. Please vote.
Everyone vote number 9.
So we don't need time. Yes, so we can finish earlier. Thank you so much for saving time. Hey, thank you. Okay, so cost management is the second topic of today's, and I love it because we have an exercise, and that's it. That's the most important part of cost management. It's creating the cost baseline. So after that, we're good to go. Maybe we cannot touch today quality, but still, quality, we can put it in this part of the program for this Monday. So it's not a problem. Yay. So before talking about cost, I promised that I was going to share with you a couple of good news. Good news, good news. In preparation, let me just skip this. I don't know why I put this so like como bajito. Give me one. In preparation for the final. Okay, yes, this is much better. What happened here? Okay. All right, much better now. Okay, in preparation for our beautiful project. Still here. This is day number 1. Day number 1, team formation. So we know that we have 3 teams. Team number 1, team number 2, team number 3. We have 3 teams. That is done. This is done. Today is the day number 4 of the program. So I'm going to share with you a couple of tips or guidance or guides, a document right now, and a couple of examples that I posted into the classroom. So I want you to go to the classroom right now. I want you to do that. If you can do that, go to the classroom. And I'm going to share my screen. I want you to go with me and check the 2 things that I posted today. You're going to love it. We posted 4 new examples that you can see. So you can see some ideas of the previous cohorts from this class, from FIU. This is FIU students. And also I posted the different prompts and guides and descriptions that you are going to use to create your final project. So let me just stop sharing, and I want you to go to your classrooms right now. So you let me know, okay, let's say I can see it or I cannot. So I want to know if you can see the content that I created. I took the time to put it beautifully, put it in PDF, so you can open it and do whatever you want with those documents. So let me go to my classroom right now. Classroom. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Boom. I want you to do the same. Be with me. Miss Claudia, let me know if you can see my screen now, which is the classroom.
Yes.
Anyone? Okay, I want you to go to your classrooms so we can do it at the same time. So let me know when you're ready. Are you guys ready? If not, let me just copy and paste the link. I think you have the link. All of you guys, you have the access, right?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm there with the examples.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Are you guys ready? Miss Pamela, Miss Claudia, Miss
Yeah,
Taina?
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Pam is asking if you could send the link.
Yes, of course. Yes. Let me copy the link. I think class code, copy class invite link. Yes. I'm going to paste the link, Miss Pam, into the chat right now. And let me know if you can see it, Miss Pamela. Let me know if you can open it. Let me make sure Miss Pam is here. Yes. I send you the invite. All right. Okay. Stream. Let me know. Thank you. Okay. Okay. If you go to classwork, boom, here, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Here, final project. You're going to see two different folders, subfolders here. Boom. If you click on that, you will see 02 project breathe in, 04 health plus card, 03 breast cancer, 05 ecotech solution. What has Alan said? 4 examples that you can explore so you can have an idea of the final project. And if you go to this, the second folder, you will see my example, the one that I gave you last week. This is for the prompt that I'm going to open it right now. And also the final description, like exactly what you need to put in ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini or Claude. I love Claude. You can use Claude for this. And CAPM final project guidelines. So I'm going to open this one, the guidelines that I have it here in my notes. So give me 1 second because I need to share this with you today. I'll be happy to share that with you. So now I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share the document one more time. And Miss Claudia, because you're my TA today, let me know if you can see a Word document in the screen. Anyone?
We see principles of project management.
Yes, project plan requirements. Okay, I want you to pay attention because this is key. If you have any question, this is very important that you are clear about a couple of like requirements that I put here. So these are the requirements for the written, and also you need to speak here. You need to present. It's oral work that must be presented in teams. Remember, it's just one project per team. The following assignment will be executed with a team effort. Let me continue. Each team is required to develop a plan to launch a new product or a new service or the improvement of an existing process. What is this? This is a document explaining everything. It's just 2 pages or 3 pages. you are going to implement a product, a service, an improvement on existing process, blah, blah, blah. The project can be a business, private sector. It could be public sector. It could be a social project. It could be a community project, non-profit, whatever you want, anything. This project assumes that it's developing an organization, that is a culture of innovation, blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to show you right now is that I put every single explanation in this document so you can educate ChatGPT just uploading this document to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever LLM you are going to use. So I put a rule very hard. This is serious. The use of AI tools is allowed to support your project plan development. However, teams must remain honest and transparent. You see, I changed the color, absolutely, because I don't want you to copy and paste whatever. So you need to review the output from the any assistant from AI. Okay, so copy and paste work is not acceptable. Please review and enhance and improve the content using the things that I'm going to show you right now. So I'm providing things that you need to check. So when you get the result from ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini, you need to check mark. You have a checklist here. Your final project must reflect your team's critical thinking. So you need to think. It's not only copy and pasting whatever. No, I'm going to check the content and alignment with course objectives. Okay, using the concepts learned here in the class, such as tailoring, agile consideration, blah, blah, blah. Do the following deliverables: statement, project description. Those are the components of the project that I'm asking for. Those 5W plus 1H, organizational chart. Those are the components. Boom, 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 you know that. Each team will present the project on day number 8 in a session, blah, 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 15 to 20 minutes to present. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you can read this document by yourself. The things that I'm going to share now, please pay attention, is this portion. I'll be evaluating this criteria to evaluate the project, content accuracy, sequencing of information. So if ChatGPT is putting this page at the end, you know that this page it's not supposed to be at the end, but you put it in the middle. So you need to reorganize sometimes the output. So keep that in mind. What else? The use of charts. If you see that ChatGPT is not providing a chart, like a schedule diagram, like a Gantt chart, like a roadmap, very clear, you need to get that chart from another place. So keep that in mind. So sometimes ChatGPT and Gemini are not perfect. They hallucinations is the name of that. Those sometimes they're crazy. Spelling and grammar, that it's easy because ChatGPT and all AI assistants, they do a good job in spelling. That's not a problem. I think this is okay. Cooperation. So I don't want you to present one person. I'm representing the team. No. Each one of you guys, you need to distribute the content into 3. Team number 3, Mr. George, Ms. Claudia, and Mr. Every single team member is supposed to speak a portion. Delivery, this is you guys. This is your performance here. Okay, so what is that? This is a document number 1 that you need to upload into the AI assistant. This is the document number 1. Now I'm going to close that one and I'm going to share with you the other one, which is the prompt. So let me share with you the prompt. Oh, you know this. Let me just stop sharing one more time. So this is one of the input. Boom, boom, boom. Another document that you need to upload into ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, or Claude is the project example that I gave you. So the name of that one, it's project plan example prompt. The name, I put prompt because I just deleted like a 20 pages that we don't need. So we only need to upload these pages. So maybe 15. the WBS, the 5W plus 1H, a couple of information, boom, 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 5W plus 1H, some pictures. You see, it's not everything. So you don't need to put everything into the final project. So the organizational chart, the organizational chart Scrum team here, the list of stakeholders, the roadmap of the project timeline, and also the cost summary. So that's it. That is another input that you are going to need to put into ChatGPT. So that is document number 2. Okay, let me just minimize that one and open the final one, which is the beautiful prompt that you are going to use. So you need 3 documents in order to create your final project. This is the most important, the prompt. It's not open yet. Give me 1 second, and after that, we're good to start cost management in 5 minutes, 5 more minutes. All right. So, okay. Final project. Here, classroom, and the prompt. Okay, now I'm going to share with you. It's a little ugly, but it's the prompt. This is let me know if you can see Miss Claudia, because you are my TA. Can you see the prompt?
We can see.
Okay, so this is gold. Oh, no, Lisa, this is easy. You were creating the project plan using AI. Yes, but nobody else, just you, my students. You have everything. You have the prompt. You have the input. You have the guideline. You have the components. So it's not a piece of cake to do it if you're not taking this class. Is that clear that I'm providing everything you need in the future to create your own real life projects? You know that? So I want some reactions from you guys, like an applause or happy face, because this is gold. Esto es oro. A lot of people pay like consultant time from experts. Ya tú sabes. So this is a beautiful content that I created just for you. So remember that after the class or now, if you want to, you can download every single document into your local drive. So I'm giving you every single information that I'm sharing with you in this class. This is absolutely for you. Are you guys happy? Say something. Thank you, Miss Tyler.
Hey, I think that there's a question for the
Okay. Okay.
Pam
Okay.
is asking if there's like a project plan on like a create project plan on the classroom link.
Yeah. Create
Okay.
project plan. This is what I'm explaining, Miss Pamela.
Oh,
Did
okay.
you guys see the prompt to create the project plan? Yes, it's here. I'm sharing that with you.
No, that's correct. But what I mean is what you're sharing right now on the screen, is that also provided in the classroom link or not yet?
Yes, everything is in the classroom, Miss Pamela. It's in the second folder. If you scroll down a little bit, there's another folder. When you open it, you will see these 3 documents. So let me know if you can see it. But it's there. Absolutely, yes. Did you guys, can you respond, Miss Pamela? Did you find these documents, anyone? ¿Le pueden decir a Miss Pamela if you found these 3 documents, guys, in the classroom? Anyone?
Yes, I see it on my end.
Okay, who said that? I didn't see her.
Tina.
Tina. So Miss Tina found these documents. So Miss Pamela, you can go to exactly the place and just scroll down a little bit more and click on the second folder. And let me know if you can see it now. Miss Tina, it's copy and pasting the link. All right, so can you try that, Miss Pamela, and let me know. Mr. George, did you find the 3 documents that I'm sharing with you?
Yeah, and right now we're on prompt to create project, correct?
Exactly. So Miss Pamela was asking something and I needed.
Yeah, you filtered through final project and then it's in the second tab of stuff. It's one of those 4 folders.
Exactly. So Miss Pamela, let us know. All right, let me just finish because we need to move on. We have 15 more minutes. We're not going to take the next break. So just to let you know, so we can finish early today. All right. So the prompt, Pay attention because the prompt, you need to complete this part here. This is the prompt. Copy and paste into the ChatGPT, but you need to put your own idea. When you see XXX, ¿cómo yo puedo? Aquí, here. You need to put your project. Okay. You are a project manager who? ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini. You are training the module. You are a project manager. This is the action. Please create a presentation with 15 or 20 slides. You can put the number here. I put 15, it's okay. Including a speaker notes for a business project whose objective is tarara, tarara. So this is your job. You need to do that. This is your responsibility. Is that clear? Oh, Mr. George, great. Okay, thank you. Got it. Oh, Miss Pamela. Okay, Miss Pamela. All right, so let me just go back. Remember that you need to put your project here, like one line. And you're a project manager, create a presentation of 15 slides, including speaker notes for a business project whose objective is to create a film in the city of Miami about about this topic, whatever. Or just create my business of spa or beauty excellence, whatever you want to put here in the city of Miami. This is optional, so you can put whenever, any place. Follow the instructions provided in the CAPM Final Project Guide. This is the document that I gave you. Is that clear? I provided that document. So I'm going to do this exercise in front of you next week. Doing it and put it in the ChatGPT or Copilot. Okay, module the presentation according to the project plan example prompt. This is another document that I gave you. Provided. Number 3, make sure to include the estimates and incorporate the project, the clients, the duration, activities, estimated costs, and justifications. Number 4, the presentation must include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those items. That's it. The thing is that this prompt is only one piece of information. You need to upload to your assistant, you need to upload the other documents that I gave you. Questions? Any questions here? Oh, Pamela, you put thumbs up.
The other when you said we have to upload the other documents that you gave us, can you reiterate that?
Okay, when you go to ChatGPT, let me just open ChatGPT right now. Nuevo chat. I'm going to do this for you guys. Okay, let me share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. It's black. I don't know why. They change color. Mac, it's crazy sometimes. Okay, cuando quieras. It's in Spanish. I don't know why. Changing the language. Okay. So, Miss Pamela. ¿Quién fue que preguntó? ¿Miss Pamela o Miss?
Kinda.
Okay. When you go to ChatGPT, you will see a plus here. Plus.
Yeah.
In that plus, you put add files and pictures. You click on that. And you need to upload the documents that I gave you.
You
So
mean
we're
the
going-
PowerPoints?
the two I gave you.
Los ejemplos, ¿no?
El project plan example. It's
Yeah,
one.
those.
The
Yeah.
guideline, the 3 that I was explaining. Why? Because you need to put some context to ChatGPT. So the ChatGPT can understand the context and what to do.
Yeah.
So it's not like a crazy doing whatever. No. It's based on PMI, CAPM methodology. So it's a very robust, muy robusto el proyecto que van a hacer. So you need to upload the documents here, one by one. Añadir fotos y archivos, but in English will be add files. So you need to educate your assistant. Is that clear? Remember,
Yes,
you don't need to do it today, but I'm going to practice that specific exercise on Monday. So after Monday, you will be able to do it by yourself. Is that clear?
Yes, thank
So
you.
don't worry. Today, I know it's too much information, but I needed to do that because it's too much, too many things. So for now, just know that you need a couple of steps to create your final project plan. Mr. George, Miss Claudia, Miss Tina, Miss Pamela, any question? Any additional?
No, no questions.
Okay, I think we're ready to, it's 8:49. We're going to jump into cost management, project plan example, cost. And remember that I promised something that I'm doing it right now. Let me share my screen. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, Miss Claudia, can you see my screen? Can you see it? Like in preparation for final project? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay. So having said that, I promise today I'm doing this, milestone number 2. I provided a couple of examples here in the classroom, and also I opened the documents one by one. So those examples I don't need to open because it's too much information. We don't need to open this in class here, but this documents, we did it. And the thing is that you are going to use these documents to create the first version of your project next week. So this is done. Guidance and examples. This is done. Next week, day number, anyone? Can you read this? What is this? Day
Day
what?
number 5.
Day number 5, which is Monday. You need, the homework will be that you need to read the project name and a high-level description. This is not GPT. This is your idea. One line. Not GPT. This is not AI. This is you. So that is for next week. We're going to use your idea to create the final project. This is something that nobody else can do, just you and your team. And after that, you will be creating the presentation, day number 6 and number 7 here. Time to create your projects. And day number 8, final presentation. All right. Miss Claudia, can I continue?
Yes, you can
Oh,
continue.
I know it's too much information for today. It's in 10 minutes. I think we need another break, at least 5 minutes. I need a drink water. Okay, I'm going to put it in my alarm here. So it's 8:52 at 9. Maybe we can take 5 minutes. All right. So remember that we are talking about today a cost management. We finished the schedule management. Now we're going to touch a couple of slides talking about cost management. The thing is that we are not touching quality today. We're going to move quality from Monday, the first hour. All right. 5 more minutes, we said that. And I want you to be ready because team number 1 is not here, but team number 2 is here. It's just reading the homework that I gave you last week. So when you see cost management for the exam, it's something that you can say that you don't need a like complex calculator. It's very, I will say, conceptual. It's nothing to calculate. So you will see how cool will be the practice exams before the final exam. So in this class, in this session, we're going to talk about the processes to manage the cost, the money, the funds, right? The expenses, right? Controlling money, right? Making decisions. So the process number 1 is planning, as usual. Process number 2 is estimating the cost. Process number 3 is determining the budget. However, this is very different, very different. This is number 2, number 3. When you see estimating, those approximation, so this is not accurate. Those approximation, I don't know at the beginning of the project exactly how much money I need. So this is just, I guess. And then when you do your homework and conversations and agreements, now you can define the final budget, which is the cost baseline. Very important. The cost baseline, it's when all the numbers are approved. And the organization said, okay, Mr. George, I'm going to approve $1 million for your project. Okay, Ms. Tina, you got it. You have your $1 million. So that is the budget approved. That is the cost baseline. And last but not least, we're going to understand a little bit more about earned value management here to control and watch and monitor the cost. That's only 4 processes. In 6 minutes, we're going to take a break at least 5 minutes. All right. At the end of this module, we'll be able to just mention the processes and understand a little bit more about earned value management. What is Alice said? I'm going to explain that. Like the critical path, this is absolutely beautiful, but it's just for project managers. Nobody else understands their value management. Only us, project managers. That is a specific topic. If you say that you took the class with Lisette and you said, I don't know anything about critical path and value management, you're going to say, no way. You didn't take the class with Miss Lisette because she's going to explain earned value and critical path. 2 beautiful like concepts in project management. And what else? Oh, we're going to build today, because it's a practical practice, a cost baseline. We're going to create a cost baseline step by step. A couple of concepts like tailoring, special considerations for agility, and that's it. That this is the list of expectations for this topic, cost management. And team number 1 is not here. So we need 4 more minutes. And the team number 1 was responsible to explain what is project cost management. So I'm going to ask any volunteer, Miss Claudia, anyone just to read, just reading. Miss Claudia, can you help me just reading?
Yes.
Yep.
Project cost management includes the processes involved in managing and controlling costs so that the project can be completed within the approved budget.
Thank you very much. So the key word here is that we need to implement and execute every single activity using the money that we have on our budget, the approved budget. This is our challenge. No pasarnos de 1 millón, it's 1 million, it's 1 million, no more. So having said that, in order to understand the process, remember that I mentioned the 4 processes before, but now when you see in a yellow color, those are the PMI definitions. So the definitions that I gave you previously was my opinion, my own language, but those are the language from PMI for the exam. So number 1, plan cost management is establishing policies for managing project costs. Boom. Yellow, exam. Those are PMI. Number 2, estimating. What is that in PMI terminologies, like formal terminology? For the PMI, estimating costs is about determining an approximation, this is a keyword, of the resources, financial resources needed to implement the boom, PMI. Number 3, budget, determine budget. What is that for the PMI? It's establishing an authorized cost baseline. You see, cost baseline, triangle. Number 4, controlling the cost is another process. It's about using earned value management to determine the variances. That is the it's the key topic today, earned value management and cost management. So having said that, let's take 5 minutes. Miss Claudia, any question, any comment in the chat? Are we good to go? Are we ready for the break? Like 5 minutes, 5 minutico. Miss Pamela, helps stakeholders know what to expect financially. Yes, thank you. About revenues. They love this. I used to work for this company called the Headcount, and this was key. Yes, thank you, Miss Pamela. Money, it's the universal language for businesses. So it's about revenues increase, right? Reduce cost. That is still key. This is part of the 3 R's of the business. Yes, Miss Pamela, I agree with you. Yep, absolutely. Let me ask you something. All of you guys, can we take a break like 5 minutes? So I need to bring some water.
Yeah,
Put
sure.
yes, yes. Okay, because I was trying to not take breaks and leave early, but still. All right. Let me take a break. 5 minutes. It's 9:05. I'll see you in 5 minutitos. See my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Let me just make sure. Okay, before the break, we were explaining that when you see a yellow color, like highlighted in yellow, is because this is absolutely PMI description and definition, academic definitions for the exam. So one more time, we define plan cost management, estimating cost, determining budget, and controlling costs. So by definition, when you see this type of chart in the introduction of the topic, is because I want to provide just an overview. Remember that I'm going to touch each one of those processes coming up. Number one more time, planning. Let me just change the color of my pen and I'm going to put it in purple. So process number one is planning. Process number two is estimating cost. One more time. Number three, creating the budget or the baseline, and controlling the cost, the money, the funds, the investments. So when you see planning, it's about establishing policies for managing cost. And that is the PMI, one more time, definition. However, here I'm putting some charts so we can understand better the concept. So when you see estimating cost, it's about creating an approximation, not 100% accurate. And we're going to see a couple of tools and techniques to estimate costs. Those are approximation of monetary resources needed to complete the project work. There is one concept very important in cost management is that you need to put a couple of dollars aside just in case something happened. The name of that money, extra money, is risk and reserve funds. One more time, those are very important concept in when you are estimating cost. So you need to add like more money just in case something happened. The name of those reserves are risks and reserve funds, or risk and reserve management. So we have a couple of slides coming up talking about risks and reserves. All right. Process number three, it's about creating the budget, and we're going to create a budget right here as a team coming up in the, before we finish the class. So I'm expecting we finish at 20 minutes, kind of. When you see the budget, creating the budget, it's about aggregating the final estimations, of course, the aggregation of individual costs. And then not only how much, but also it's about when you are going to spend the money. As Miss Pamela was putting that very beautiful comment in the chat, she put health stakeholders, they want to know when do you need the money. They said, okay, you're going to spend $1 million, but you're not going to spend the $1 million in the month number one. So please send me a budget, including when you are going to need the money and how much. So we can establish the baseline. So the baseline is not only how much, boom, here, but also when, boom. In January, I'm going to need maybe 25K. In August, I'm going to use 100K and so on. So you can have like a roadmap, like a plan. That is the baseline. And last but not least, controlling is managing the changes, introducing the value management that I'm going to explain for controlling, and also identifying the variances, something that is not working, is not according to the plan. We need to review the actual results so we can adjust the execution of the budget. Let me continue because I'm going to move forward. Miss Claudia, let me propose something to you and the rest of the team. I'm going to continue. Just stop me if you have, so we can get into the final exercise that I want to explain. So just let me know at any time. Okay, let's say, can you go back or just interrupt me? Not via chat, but just tell me. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Solamente me interrumpe y dice, okay, Lisette, vuelve atrás. Okay. So considerations for Agile and Adaptive. Remember that this is just reading. So I want you to ask Miss Taina. Miss Taina, can you help me reading the considerations, Agile environments?
Yes, lightweight estimations can be used to generate a high-level project labor costs. In cases where agile projects are subject to strict budgets, the scope and schedule are adjusted to stay within cost restraints.
Thank you very much. Yes, within cost constraints. What happens is that an agility, you don't need to worry about budget. Why? Because you are going to make adjustments at any time after the sprint. So what we can do is a high level estimation, lightweight, can be used to generate a high level project labor cost. That is agility. Everything is easier than predictive. If you have any problem with the budget, then you need to adjust the scope and the time. Just to be accordance to the available monies that we have. So that's it. Agility is very high level. All right. So Miss Pamela, can you help me reading the cost management plan components here? Pamela.
Sure. The first one is level of precision. 2 is the units of measure. 3, organizational links. 4, control threshold. Finally, rules of performance measurement.
Thank you very much. So what is this, Lisa? These are the components or the elements that you are supposed to include as part of the cost management plan. So the cost management plan, it's including a couple of elements, piece of information. So in yellow, remember yellow, PMI definitions. What a level of precision, rounded up or down. This is when you are working with Excel and you put $1.05, you can round it into $1, just $1. Those rules, you're supposed to put it here, level of precision. That is straightforward mathematical considerations, very basic. Units of measures, staff days, meters, liters, tons. This is just to like standardize the units of measures at any time to put it on the cost. Organizational links, what is that? The organizations, remember that you are under a project umbrella, but you are under an organizational umbrella. So you have another level of authority on the top of the organization, and you need to link the project cost and the budget of the company. So you need to have like a account number, like a numerical like identifier here. So that is part of the cost management plan. Identify the account number assigned to you. This is my account. That money is mine in terms of organizational links. Number 3, control thresholds. Definition of PMI is, and I explained that to you before in schedule management, is the allowed variation. It's the margin of error that you can have. So you need to specify, okay, we're not 100% accurate. So we can be more or less 5%. That is something that it's PMI also in yellow. And rules of performance measurement, one more time, earned value management that I'm going to explain as a critical path concept. It's in cost management, the similar concept. It's not the same, but it's a very specific concept for cost management. So earned value management coming up soon. All right. Okay, quiz. Those are the 4 processes. Remember, don't get confused and just eliminate something that is not one of the processes. We are talking about the project cost management processes here. You see? Determine budget, controlling costs. Which one is not? It's not a process here. So this is a tricky. Let me know, Miss Claudia. when you see the answers. Yes, Miss Tina, thank you, Mr. George. You got it. Okay, Miss Pamela, I don't think, let me see, Mr. George, yes, Miss Claudia. All right, we have 75% of feedback. That's perfect. Thank you, Miss Pamela. Yes, absolutely. When you see this, this is weird. This is not part of the normal processes. So yes, it's B, level of resources. Remember that if you click on those links, I'm not going to copy right now, but you have those PowerPoints. So you can practice after the class using these links that I created in Google Form. All right. Okay, talking about process number 2, estimating cost. Mr. George, can you read this page, please?
Yes. Estimated cost involves developing an estimate of the cost of the resources needed to complete the project. Resources: labor, equipment, facilities, inflation, reserve, management and contingency, materials, etc.
Thank you so much. So now talking about like logical ideas. Number 1, planning. Number 2, estimating. Now, number 3, it's creating final budget. So that will be, I'm going to jump into the process number 3 immediately because estimating is about getting information, having conversations, researching, doing whatever it takes to get the approximation of the cost. This is not a final cost. This is estimates, approximation. So please do not forget meals, travel, software licenses, subscriptions, what else? Travel, whatever. Just put every single element here in an estimate cost process. So let me stop sharing because I'm going to just jump into now that I have the approximation, let me just move, like go to creating. I'm going to share with you how to create the final budget, and I'm going to jump into this beautiful exercise. And after that, we finish for today. Remember that Monday we'll be talking about quality, and earned value management is going to be Monday also as part of the introduction. So let me just jump into the process number 3, like boom, so we can leave early today. Almost done, Miss Tina. I know, I'm sleepy too, and it's Friday. Okay, guys, can you guys see my screen? Determine budget. Anyone?
Yes.
Okay, this is the last part of the class today. So be happy because we're almost done. Determine budget is aggregating the cost, right? Now we have the estimates. Now we need to know when to use the money, right? So it's establishing the cost baseline. Remember to add an additional money, like a contingency reserve and baseline. This is extra money. That'll be part of the money, will be part of the budget. What do we need? The estimates. And we coming from the previous process, which is the cost estimates. We know that. So now we know at this point, we know that activity A is going to cost for $400, activity B $600. These are the inputs. I need this information. This is a given information to create the budget. So that's why you see inputs here. Activity C 200, activity D 300. Now, another thing that I need is that just when we are going to execute activity B, and activity C. This is activity definition. So that's something that we know. So for each one of the activities here, remember those are the from the bottom, activity A from the previous page, $400, activity B, $600. So what is the cost aggregation? It's just calculating 400 plus 600. So this deliverable cost will be 1,000. That is straightforward. 200 plus 300, 500. So the final budget here, amount of money that we need, the baseline, it's 1,500 for the total cost, the total project cost. This is cost aggregation. This is just an example, bottom up, from the bottom to the top. All right. So now, remember, T number 2, I'm not going to, T number 2, it was Miss Pamela. Can you read this? Just what is the definition of the cost baseline? And I think that's it. I'm going to jump in.
A
Yeah.
time-based budget used to measure performance. Cost line, which is S curve, and excluding any management reserves.
Thank you very much. So when you see cost baseline, remember the triangle? Cost is part of this triangle, the cost baseline. So it's a time phase budget. You see time, and it's another name, it's S curve, como una S, like S, like this. This is the cost baseline. This is the plan. So we're going to get familiar now with a couple of names here. Please pay attention, almost done. Let me see what time is it, 12. This is the final budget of the project. Please pay attention, we're almost done. Another name for this money here is BAC. Pay attention for the exam. Budget at completion is the total amount of money we're going to spend in the project. This is the approved amount. This is the budget cost of the work schedule. It's based on time, right? How much money are going to use? And in air value analysis, this value is another name for this value, it's plan value. So 3 different names: budget at completion, plan value, right? And cost baseline. So a lot of names for the same idea and S curve. And this is the example. And with that, we're finished, and I promise, this is the example that I'm going to do with you guys. I need your help. Activity A, we have 3 activities for this project: activity A, activity B, and activity C. Each one of those activities have a different specific cost per week. So activity A, cost per week, it's $400. Pay attention, this is very easy, it's beautiful. Activity B costs $500 per week, and activity C will cost $200 per week. So 1, 2, 3. And the duration of the project is 7 weeks. So activity A, activity B, and activity C. Now, you and me, we're going to calculate the baseline. And the baseline is, it's the only way to calculate the baseline is accumulating the weekly cost. So this is the exercise that I want you to help me to do it. So we are going to put here the weekly cost. Weekly cost. Almost done. This is very, very straightforward, very easy. We're going to calculate and just aggregate the numbers. That's it. Cumulative cost here, cumulative cost. So number 1, what is the weekly cost of the week number 1? If we are doing just one activity, which is activity A, how much is the weekly cost?
400.
Thank you, yes. And how much is the aggregation, the total on the
So far, 400.
Exactly. Now, pay attention. Week number 2. What is the weekly cost of the week number 2? We are doing 2 things.
900.
Yes. Cumulative, it's 400 plus 900 will be here. How much?
1300.
13. Now I want Miss Claudia to answer the week number 3. This is Miss Claudia. This is Miss Pamela. And this is Miss Taina. And this is Mr. George. One more time. Mr. Jorge. All right. So this is Miss Claudia. Miss Claudia, now we are talking about 3 activities in the week number 3. How much is the weekly cost?
So that's going to be 1,100.
Yes. 1,100. And the cumulative will be 13 plus 11 will be here. How much? The cumulative cost?
24.
Yes, 24. Okay. Miss Pamela, what is the weekly cost of the project in the week number 4? Miss Pamela, it's just aggregating the cost of activity B, which is 500, plus activity C, that is 200. So how much is it?
So sweet, 700.
Yes. Why are you laughing? 24 plus 7, how much is that? You can use your cell phone. 24 plus 7?
3,100.
Yes, 3,100, absolutely. Miss Taina, this is straightforward. Just one activity here. How much is the weekly cost on week number 5?
200.
Yes, very cheap. And cumulative will be
3,300.
33. Yes, 3,300. Mr. George, how much is the weekly cost on the week number 6?
An additional 200.
Yes, and cumulative, it's 33 plus 2?
35.
No.
33 plus 2 is 35.
30,
Right?
33
Plus 2 is
plus
35.
200.
Yes, isn't it 3,000
Yes,
3,500?
yes, it's 3,500. Oh, I put it wrong. I put that in my notes wrong. Let me check. 35, I think. So plus 200 here. Plus 200.
It'll be 3,700 in total.
Yes, so this is finally the budget at completion. Budget at completion, pay attention. This is the budget at completion, 3,700. This is the plan value, another name. And this is also the cost baseline of the project. That's it. What is that? This is just an exercise to check that the budget at completion, you need to keep into consideration when. So you need time and values. That's it. And yes, George, you're right. I put in my notes like 33. I put 33. Oh, it's 33. No, 31, 33. Let me go back. Yes, 31, 33, 35, 37. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. So here's the 7 weeks is the duration of the project, and 3,700 is the budget at completion here. So when you put this into a chart like this one, the shape, it's like an S. You see? This is an S curve. All right, we finished the class today. I think we finished. Let me check. No, I'm going to skip the question. So the homework for this Monday, I'm going to put it in the chat so we can relax right now. I'm going to text you. Please check the WhatsApp during the weekend, and I'm going to put what will be the topics for the Monday. Good night, everyone. Any question? Are you guys ready to say just have a wonderful weekend?
Yes, have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thank
See you guys soon, I hope.
Thank you. I see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You brought me back with the math question.
What was that, Miss Pamela? ¿Qué dijiste?
You brought me back to a funny memory with the math question.
Ah, yes, tan simple. 37 plus 2.
Whenever I'm asked a math question with the project or at work, I always turn it back into, isn't this such a good plan? I mean, look at this. You're going to be able to do this. You're going to be able to do that. And then
I love it. So that is something that you like, you know what you're talking about because you have the experience. Hey guys, have a nice weekend. I see you Monday. Un abrazo.
Bye, guys. Hugs.
Bye, guys.